I'm back. Been having some technical difficulties this evening, but I'm just gonna do things the way I always do. Back on my phone. So much better. My computer does not do it justice. The biggest problem with the computer is that it seems like I'm looking in a different direction than I'm actually looking, and it really weirds me out. Anyway, I saw a bunch of you guys were coming on. I didn't want to disappoint you. The beach report will go on this evening. I know it's super late. It's 10:17 already. And of course, because of the daylight savings time, or are we out of daylight savings time? Whatever, that whole fall back an hour thing makes it feel to me like it's midnight when it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey Darla, how you doing, my friend? So anyway, welcome to the beach report. I know it's really dark, but I am standing here and it is so beautiful. I have the window wide open tonight to show you. Look how gorgeous. The Galt Ocean Mile. That's what you're looking at right now. Well, at least you made it home, Darla. It's weird. It's like I'm gonna rub my camera, so everybody get your faces ready. Here we go. What's going on here? Why does it look strange? Anyway, ooh, look at that moon. It's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. Fantabulous, fantabulous night to make romance 'neath the cover of October skies. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Seriously? And just looking at it with my eyes, I don't see that beam of light coming off of it. There's a plane over there and it doesn't look the same. Can you see the plane? Well, there's the plane. I haven't really, now I'll zoom it in. Yeah. And that's a planet underneath it. I don't know which planet it is. I'm sure someone knows. Yeah, it definitely looks better, Barbara, right? Mike Tyson. What? What's Mike Tyson doing? Yeah, that's pretty. Hey, Pokemon. Hey, Marita. Glad you're here. 49 degrees is cold. Super, super cold. Look how beautiful. Chloe, what did you ask? Hi, Invention. Is it morning where you are? Because it is nighttime where I am. 47 degrees, yuck. This is why I moved to South Florida almost 10 years ago. What, is there an astronaut up there? What? What astronaut? Oh, it's just so beautiful and it's very cool out tonight. Not hot at all. So what you're seeing there are those buildings. That's called the Galt Ocean Mile. So we're here in South Florida tonight, Fort Lauderdale to be exact. And you guys are looking at the Intercoastal Waterway. There's no boats out tonight though. I know, the Galt's the best, right, Barbara? All right, well, I promised I would do story time tonight, so I'm gonna do story time tonight. So for those of you who don't know, I am an author a writer, a journalist, but I did publish 2 books, and my second book is in the process of, well, I published it myself, and now I'm trying to put it out there for the whole world. It's a daunting experience because I've been working on this book for 40 years. 40 years. It's really it's really funny. It's like, so I'm a writer. I've been a journalist. I went to journalism school back in 1987. I graduated from Ohio University's Scripps School of Journalism and began my career as a newspaper and magazine writer. Aw, thank you, Barbara. I'm glad you're on your couch in your PJs. That's the best way to be for story time. You have to be comfortable. It's very important. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, about my book. So I have been very good at writing lots of little articles and everything throughout my career, but in 2015, I knew that it was time for me to publish my first book. Now, the book that I'm going to read is called Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? And I've been working on that book for 40 years. So, hi, Teen Ticker. And I started to be very concerned that I was never going to be able to publish Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, because it's a book about my life. And, for those of you who have written a memoir, it's a daunting experience to put your own life stories out there for the whole world to read, right? So I decided that I had to do something else before I could write my memoir. So I wrote a different book called, like it was yesterday, A Journalist's Files Since 9/11. So that book is about the way 9/11 changed our society. And that was the first book I published, and that was in 2015. So anyway, like it was yesterday was my kind of jumping off experience into becoming a published author. And I was super stoked to do that, but then it's taken me another 10 years to publish my second book. And I, for a long time, thought, well, this is just too dang long. This is taking me forever. And I started to feel like the carpenter with the unfinished house, It's just not good. I'm helping all these other people write their books, helping other people edit and all this other stuff. And here's me with my own memoir that I've been working on pretty much my whole life, and talking about it and telling everybody, yes, my book, Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? Oh, what a great title. Everyone would be like, sounds so interesting. How can I read it? And I'd be like, well, I haven't published it yet. And so then about 3 years ago, I was telling my followers on Facebook about Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? And they said, oh, read me some of it. Read it to us. So I said, okay, I'll read it. I'm glad you love Trump. I do too, Invention. So I decided to start reading Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, which was written, just never published and not really fully edited. So I started reading excerpts from Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, and everyone's like, wow, I love this book. How can I get a copy? And I said, well, it's not published yet. And so everyone's like, well, maybe you should do pre-orders. So I did 100 pre-orders, and it was super easy. Everybody was all excited. And then it took me 3 years 3 years to publish this book, Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? So a couple people got pretty mad and wanted their money back, which I refunded. Anyone who wanted their money back got it back. It wasn't a lot of people. It was just maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 people. And they were pretty nasty about it too. But whatever. We went through COVID. I got married. My husband died. Life was kind of getting in the way of me publishing my book. And I realize now, as hard as I was on myself about not publishing that book in been such a long time, 3 years. I was like, after I promised all these people, they spent $30 each on this pre-order of my book, and I was working on it, but nowhere near publishing it. So, but I always knew it would get done because this is the story of my life, and this is my life's work. So finally, I got it done. And I'm going to read to you an excerpt from this book that I have literally been working on for 40 years, which is now published. And my birthday is actually coming up at the end of this month, the last day of this month, the 30th, which is when I turn 59 years old. And it's pretty amazing because I can say that I published Do You Think About Me on my birthday before I turned 60. So there's that. All right, if you guys are ready to listen to story time, I'm going to read to you now. This is the chapter called I Belong on the Shore. And it's a little bit lighthearted part of the book that's just kind of a trip back into the 80s at the Jersey Shore. So yes, I have a ceiling fan on. I know you guys are like, I'm cold. It's not warm here. It's not cold here. It's just lovely. And the ceiling fan just provides a little bit of a breeze. So, all right, here we go. Are you guys ready? Let me know. Have you got your mugs of hot chocolate, or because you guys are cold, something nice and warm, some tea maybe, something, a little biscuit. I don't know. Are you guys in your beds? Are y'all warm and cuddly? Ready? Tell me you're ready for story time. Okay. Barbara's ready. All right, let's go. Barbara's ready. I'm going to just say everybody's ready. All right. So again, this chapter is called I Belong on the Shore. Hi, Laura, you're just in time. I'm just starting to read for story time. So good timing, my friend. Glad to see you. Okay. So again, this is my memoir, but the names are all changed. So it's not me. It's me reading about me who's not me. The name now is Leah. Okay. Alrighty then. I Belong on the Shore. Leah's first day at the Army Navy shop wasn't scheduled until 4. So she walked to the beach in the late morning to work on her tan. It was breezy and sunny on the waterfront as she lay listening to her portable radio, baking herself evenly on both sides. Again, this is back in the 80s. We're going back in time here, so don't forget that. At 12:30, she decided to head back to the house so that she could watch her favorite soap opera, All My Children, with the girl at the rental shop across the street. She had just made it to the corner of her street when she noticed Tess, one of the new girls who just moved into the Leeward a couple of days before, getting out of a dingy orange pickup truck. As she approached the house, Tess waved to her and called, "Hey, Leah, you want to go sailing?" "What? When?" "Right now," Tess grinned. Forgetting all about work, Leah jumped at the chance to get out on a boat and soon found herself smashed into the front seat with Tess and a scruffy, bearded fellow named Tommy. "I'm a clammer," he told her as the three of them drove across the boulevard and headed towards the bay. "What?" Leah had no idea what he was talking about. "That's what I do," he told her. "I dig for clams in the bay, which is why I can do whatever I want during the day." "So long as you find some time to dig some clams," added Tess. "Well, yeah," he agreed, "but it's not like I have to go into an office or anything." At the dock, they were met by 2 more girls, long-legged beauties with gorgeous bodies wearing skimpy bathing suits named Kelsey and Gina. The 5 of them walked out onto the dock to a sleek 32-foot sailboat where 5 guys in swimming trunks were preparing to set sail. Only about 5'6", Tommy nevertheless strutted proudly towards the boat, flanked by his entourage of beautiful girls. The guys welcomed them aboard. The guys sorry. The guys welcomed them aboard as each girl stepped gingerly onto the gleaming wooden deck of the beautiful sailboat. Within moments, they were putt-putting out of the no-wake zone and sailing into the deep water of Barnegat Bay towards the southern end of the island. You want a beer? Offered a guy named George. No thanks, Leah replied. I have to work later today. She looked at her watch. It read 2:07. Oh my gosh! She saw the boat heading into the choppy waters of the Atlantic Ocean and started to panic. I have to be at work in 2 hours. We have to turn back. Sorry, but there's no way we can turn back now, George explained to her. We'd never make it back by 4. This is my first day on the job. I can't believe I'm going to be late. This is a nightmare. She had worked herself into a frenzy, so George tried to get her to calm down. Listen, why don't we call in ship to shore and you can let your boss know that you're going to be late? He offered, but when he tried to make the call, the connection didn't go through, and she started to flip out all over again. Tommy came over to where she was sitting and plopped himself down next to her. Leah, babe, listen to me. You're stuck out in the ocean on a 32-foot luxury sailboat on a beautiful sunny day, surrounded by food, friends, and fun. Don't let it bum you out, let it ride. With that, he handed her a fruity-looking drink she was sure had alcohol in it. You know what, Tommy? You're right, she declared, and toasted the ongoing adventure that was her life. A few moments later, George came over and told her, We're going to get you to work, Leah. Don't worry. At 3:15, she noticed that the boat had arrived directly in front of the Pavilion Street beach. George anchored the vessel just offshore, past the buoys that indicated where the ancient sandbar that rimmed the island was located. We want to get off too, said Kelsey and Gina as they watched the lifeguards retrieve their emergency canoe from the beach in the distance. Everyone watched as the muscled young men row themselves through the breakers and approached the sailboat. When the canoe arrived, the 3 girls climbed in, to the amusement and fascination of everyone on the beach. Thank you so much, Leah gushed to the handsome dudes as they rowed back to the beach. No problem, a sandy blonde guard told her, his arms working the oars powerfully. We love rescuing beautiful damsels in distress. Besides, added the other hunky lifeguard, you girls are giving the whole beach a show they'll never forget. Skillfully, the boys cut through the breakers with their oars and brought the canoe safely onto the wet sand, just outside the swimmer section. As the 3 girls stepped onto the beach, the curious crowd began cheering and clapping. Leah, Gina, and Kelsey took off, top speed through the appreciative crowd, and emerged from the beach onto the street. Leah didn't stop running until she breathlessly arrived 2 blocks later at the leeward. She bounded up the stairs and burst into her room at, according to her watch, 3:52. Hastily, she ripped off her bikini and got dressed for work in the last clean outfit she had. At 3:58, she pulled her hair into a quick ponytail and ran out the door and back down the stairs with lightning speed. Her heart burned within her chest as she ran down the street towards the mall. At 4:03, she entered its cool interior, the sweat dripping from her brow as she inwardly cursed the Army-Navy shop for being all the way at the end of the building. At 4:05, she dragged herself into the shop and stood panting before Howard, who was staring at his watch and looking annoyed with her. You're late, he said. She promptly collapsed onto the floor. He rushed out from behind the glass knife case. Leah, are you okay? He implored, wrinkling his forehead with concern. Red-faced and soaking wet, she sat up and looked at him before dissolving helplessly into hysterical giggles. Once she was able to bring herself under control, Leah tried to explain the situation to him. Sorry I'm late, Howard, but half an hour ago I was stranded out in the ocean on a sailboat, and the lifeguards at Pavilion Street Beach had to bring the canoe out to get me and the 2 other girls off the boat. You expect me to believe that story? He stared at her, incredulous. Ask anyone who was on the beach today, she told him. The lifeguards rowed out to get you off a boat? They don't do that. That's exactly what they did, Howard. Ask anyone. It was quite a show, she said as she got up off the floor and composed herself. Look at me. I never ran so fast in my life. It's amazing that I was only 5 minutes late. Leah spotted a roll of paper towels from behind the counter and pointed at them. May I? Sure, he replied wearily, ripping off a piece and handing it to her. Why don't you go down to the food court and get yourself something, cold to drink. And then you can get started. Thanks, Howard. Listen, I'm really sorry about being late. It won't happen again, she told him before she left to go get a glass of lemonade. She was so glad to see that Howard apparently wasn't going to hold her being late on her first day against her. 4 hours later, Leah left the Army-Navy shop and reflected that now that she had changed her job, things were really looking up. Connor had come to visit her at work like he promised, and even though she still had feelings for him, Leah kept it cool and just waited for the next bus. She didn't have to wait long. The Army-Navy shop turned out to be a great place to meet boys. She was inundated with offers from hot prospects to take her water skiing, to the movies, out to dinner, to go to barbecues. She was getting better at dealing with the opposite sex, considering each date a learning experience. She realized that it was unwise to fall in love quickly because her Mr. Wonderful was out there somewhere. She decided that the only way to find him was to take various rides on some of the better buses that came to her proverbial stop. All right, and that's the end of that chapter. It's not a super long chapter, but it's a fun one. That was a fun story. Hey, Karen, good to see you. All right, so now I'm going to read something else that I just found the other day, just kind of by happenstance. But this is an article from a column that I used to write for a magazine called North Hills Monthly Magazine. I used to actually be the editor of this magazine, and I had this regular column every month, and it was called Jill's Journal. Jill's Journal. It's backwards here. I'll turn the camera around so you can see what it looked like. So it's called Jill's Journal. There's my little picture. And there's my column. It's ripped it out of the magazine. So it's funny that I should find this at this fortuitous time. And as you can see, the title of this is called The Old Age of Youth. Keep in mind, I was like 30 something when I wrote this, and now I'm going to be 59. So here's to the old age of youth. And again, this is me in my 30s writing this. There are a lot of milestone birthdays in our lives. Our first birthday, the sweet 16, the day we become old enough to vote, the year we can belly up to a bar and order a drink. But when we turn 40, a transformation seems to take place. French writer Victor Hugo once said, 40 is the old age of youth. 50 is the youth of old age. Okay, so I guess I was turning 40 when I wrote this. Wow. Deny it all you want, but when you enter your 40th year of life, things change. You still look and feel young, but as you make that first appointment for a mammogram and the hairdresser tells you that most of your roots are gray, you begin to lose that sense of immortality that you had when you were younger, because you know what's coming. And even if you've been blissfully unaware that 40 is the gateway to old age, the rest of society will be happy to inform you that your youth is now in the past. The information is usually presented in the form of a surprise party. Banners proclaiming that you're over the hill are a common sight. Well, the tongue-in-cheek "life begins at 40" seems to mock your newfound freedom to wear a pink hat and rightfully consider people in their 20s and 30s mere babies. That is until some 50 or 60-year-old puts you in your place. I have not read this since 20 years, apparently. By the time you read this, I will have just turned 40. I write, however, under the auspices of 39. And if I want to feel like it's no big deal, I'll just turn on the TV and watch The Price is Right. Because if Bob Barker is still there, urging little old ladies to spin the wheel harder, then I know that I still have a long way to go. Isn't Bob Barker dead? Ah, too funny. Oh, I really crack myself up sometimes. Anyway, hope it's not just me. But yeah, so I'm about to turn 59. Ugh, and I was getting upset about 39 going on 40, and here I am actually 58 going on 59. I am not 59 going on 60. I will wait till next year to say that. I still have an entire year until that's going to happen. I know, exactly, Darla. Like, look at me flipping out about turning 40, and here I am about to turn 59. It's something else, but you know what? I freaking love it. I love being old. I love having the wisdom of old age because, you know, like this article says, what this called the old age of youth. Well, I am in my youthful old age. I kind of feel like I'm aging backwards in a lot of ways, but one of the things that makes me feel the most, thank you, Laura, that makes me feel the most young again is actually completing goals. Doing things that I've always said I would do and actually doing them. Because a lot of people die with unrealized dreams and goals. Oh, here comes the boat. Let's check it out. Oh my. So here's what I want to know. Why is it okay for them to fly down the intercoastal with music claiming, you know, using the N-word? How is that okay? I'm kind of offended. Anyway, I'm not. It takes a lot to offend me, like a lot. But what are you going to do? Anyway, it's absolutely gorgeous night tonight. I just love this kind of weather. So don't be afraid of 60, Darla. You know, 60's what? Like 60's the new 40. At least it is in my world. I'm going to make it the new 40. But yes, completing those great big goals at this age is really important. It makes me think about poor Lisa Marie Presley because her memoir just came out and she wasn't alive to do it. And I feel really badly for her. One of my followers, actually, one of my readers, was reading my new book, and she was reading the Lisa Marie Presley memoir at the same time. And she was telling me about it, how she was reading these two books at the same time, and how sad Lisa Marie's story was. My story, I wouldn't call it sad. Like I call it a mind-blowing adoption story, and it is mind-blowing. But is it sad? I don't know if it's sad, but I think it's it's a coming-of-age story. In some ways, it's super funny. I want you to laugh when you read the book. And yes, in some ways, it is also sad. Maybe it's more touching than sad. Hi, Margaret. Yes, there is a like button. Please hit it. And I think it's Donna always reminds me, all you have to do is tap twice on the screen and that will get you a like as well. So you don't even have to look for the like buttons. Pretty easy there. So speaking of the whole YouTube experience, I am new to this being monetized on YouTube. It's a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell me no or where to go. and let me continue dreaming and making great content, because I love creating videos. I love doing live streams. I love connecting with you guys. I love reading to you guys, and you love being read too. So we're kind of a perfect pair. Anyway, I am now in the process of setting up my YouTube channel so that I can receive like gifts or, super chats and all that stuff that I see other people doing. Now it's my turn. So if you do feel like you want to participate in that, I say welcome, let's do it. It's looks like a lot of fun. I had my first super chat last week. Somebody sent me super chat. I was like, what? It was really exciting. So anyway, there's that. But then the other thing that really appeals to me about being on YouTube now, monetized, is that I can do member only live streams. And I so badly want that to happen, because I want the people who are really my fans and really want to hear my story times and are here for the right reasons to be able to do member only shows. So it's just us, and we don't have to worry about the trolls, and we don't have to worry about the people coming in from who knows where and don't know who I am and don't understand what the beach report is all about, and just kind of, or else they're just trolls, and we don't like that. I mean, we kind of like trolls because I get to feed them to the sharks, but still, it's a lot nicer, I think, when you don't have to worry about the people watching your show. Do they, are they there to make trouble? Are they there just to, whatever. I want people who are watching to really want to be watching. You know what I mean? So I think it would be a great place to have a dedicated, serious audience. And then I'm going to read you guys story time. Wow, story time. In fact, I am working on my next two books concurrently at the moment, and they are both sequels to the two books I've already written. So I'm working on the sequel to Like It Was Yesterday, A Journalist's File Since 9/11. I'm not sure what I'm going to call that book yet, but it will be more about the things that I learned while promoting Like It Was Yesterday, because boy, oh boy, did I learn a lot from that book. Just from talking about that book, I did a lot of speaking engagements all over the country. I met amazing people, and I learned so much about 9/11. Things that, people say that maybe it was an inside job. People have a lot of, I don't even want to call them conspiracy theories, because whatever happened on 9/11, I think everybody can agree nobody knows the full story, and it is still a very huge murder mystery, and still affecting our country to this day. And just look at the Patriot Act and the way that it messed with our government, our people, everything. I think it was one of the worst things that ever happened to America. But I do have a very extensive chapter about the Patriot Act and how it did affect my community in Pittsburgh as soon as it came out. And people were very concerned about it, and rightly so. And we saw how the FISA courts were abused by it as well. So, there's that. Anyway, I have a lot of other things that I'm working on, but the other book that I'm also working on is the excerpt, of course, to Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, which is called 7 Years in Switzerland, and that's mind-blowing. When I was editing Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, I realized that I had 3,000 pages, and I was not going to be able to make one book out of it. It would have to be a series, because who's going to read a 3,000 page book? I might, but anyway, I didn't want to write a 3,000 page book, and that's a lot of pages. So I winnowed it down to 350 some pages. I don't know, how long is my book? think it's like 358 or something like that. Anyway, it's a sizable book, but 7 Years in Switzerland, it's going to be pretty long too. There's a lot going on with 7 Years in Switzerland. And lately, thank you, Laura knows. Actually, it's 358 because you had the first edition, and I took out all of those blank pages that were in the first edition. So I think it's down to 358 now. Don't worry, Darla. You'll read it, but it's going to be in chunks, okay? So, yeah, 7 Years in Switzerland. That book is going to blow your mind. It's going to be a lot. Anyway, if you guys do join my member chats, I will be reading to you things like that. So it's going to be very interesting, and you will have early access to my work as it comes out, because now that I know how to publish books on my own, which I learned, I got the program, everything. I can do everything by myself, and now that I can, that means I will be pumping out books in the coming months, years. Right now, though, I have to sell this book in order to have enough money to make more books. So that's my goal at the moment. And Do You Think About Me on My Birthday is literally just launching because, like I said, my birthday is the last day of this month. So then I'm gonna like whole hog, go for it, go crazy, get on every talk show circuit I can, book clubs. If you guys have any ideas about how to get Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, and of course always like it was yesterday, I've still got to sell that book too. I now have 2 books that I can sell. So if anybody has any ideas about how I can market my books, I will not be going through Amazon. I will not be going through big box stores or anything like that. I want to do everything by myself. This book is so precious to me. You know, you work on something for 40 years. It would hurt me to go on Amazon and just like mass market it and give Amazon 30% of my profits. I'm not doing that. So I never heard of My Store, Margaret. I will check that out. Do you know anything about it? Is it something that you like? You know, give me some like real things to look at. There's a couple of different options, but right now, the beautiful thing about it for me is that I can print the book myself. So I always have copies I can sell. You can go on my jewelbooks.com page. I'm still working on it. My website is still not where I need it to be. But PayPal, I also have a link there that you can buy the book through. So just let me know and I'll give you the link. And so the new book costs $35. If you want it signed, it's only $5 more. Maybe it should be $10 more. I don't know. Everyone's telling me signed books are worth more, and it does actually kind of cost me money to do that. Mike Lindell. Oh, I like Mike Lindell. Thank you. I didn't know anything about that. That's very interesting. So thank you, Margaret. You guys are always a great wealth of information, and I love how we work off of each other. So I'm really looking forward to my YouTube channel being more personalized and being a place where my actual real fans can interact with me in ways that we couldn't on Facebook. And this way I can also do coaching. I can do group sessions. I can do one-on-one. And the other big news I want to give you before I get off, because I am so exhausted. I've been working so hard to try to live in the daytime and not be up all night, and try to get to bed a little bit earlier, and to wake up in the morning when I wake up. Like, I often wake up at like 5-6 o'clock in the morning, but I never want to get out of bed. So I'll just go back to sleep, lay there, like start to read something, which will put me to sleep too. So these days I'm trying really hard to, like, when I wake up, I get out of bed and I get to work because I have so much to do. Oh my gosh, I gotta make new business cards. I gotta order more books. And I have my big book launch coming up on my birthday on the 30th of November. We will be in Fort Myers Beach at Matanzas Inn. If anybody watching wants to come to my birthday party, just give a call to Matanzas Inn. They will give you 20% off your room, and I can guarantee it's going to be epic and a big surprise at my birthday party. I've got a lot of really cool stuff going on, so we're gonna have a great time. If you can make it, come on down. Fort Myers Beach, November 30th. All right, you guys. Well, I am going to say ciao for now. It was wonderful spending time with you. I'm so glad we had this time together. Anyway, like I said, check out my member tiers are in the process of being reviewed right now, so they should be coming on tomorrow, I think. So if you're interested in a membership, like I said, you'll get a lot of really good perks because I cannot keep giving it away to the masses. It's kind of scary to be out there in YouTube world with people from all over the world coming at me, asking me questions. I'm like, oh, I don't know what's happening. So I'd really like to get my memberships under control so the people who are watching really want to be watching, and they don't say crazy things to me. You know what I mean. Anyway, the Beach Report has been around for almost 10 years, so I am no stranger to doing podcasts, but this is my first foray into really using my YouTube channel, and now that I am a YouTube partner, oh, super excited about that. Oh, and people have been asking, what does it take to become a YouTube partner? It takes a lot of time, a lot of work, and you do have to put in the hours. I've heard of people who do maybe one short and it goes viral and they get millions of views, and all of a sudden, boom, they're a partner just like that. But that's actually not the optimal way to become a partner, because you do have to put in the hours every day. So one viral video is going to be kind of misleading when you are a creator. And just some advice for those of you who are new creators is that just do it every single day. You don't need a course. You don't actually even need to be coached or anything. I find that the best way to do something is just do it. And when you go on live every day, you build your audience up like that. That's how I did it. And it took a long time for me you have to get 1,000 subscribers at least. And then you have to have something like 3,000 hours of live video, or just video, or watch time, or something like that. 3,000 hours, 4,000 to further get the advertising on. It's a lot. It takes a lot of time. And thank you, Darla. And it is the castor oil. You think the castor oil is really working? Really? I know. I still have this freckle here I want to get rid of. Castor oil should take it away. But thank you. Yes, I've been pretty good about the castor oil. I haven't used it the past couple of days because I've been crazy busy. But thank you for noticing. I didn't really even think about it, but I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, so yay for castor oil. Anyway, I've also been fasting, and I lost a few pounds too because I was chunking out there, so, doing what we can to be healthy and youthful as we turn 59! 59. That sounds old. But I'm still upright, so I'm not going to let it bother me. Anyway, yeah, if you want to do a YouTube channel yourself, like I said, I advise you to just go for it and go on every single day. And even if it's not perfect, even if you're doing things that you think are, I don't know, whatever, if people are watching, they're watching. And just be yourself. And here's another bit of advice too. I've heard this from a lot of people, but I know it to really be true, is that you have to love what you do. If you're doing a YouTube channel and you're talking about stuff, it has to be stuff that you really love to talk about and that you're really interested in. Because who's going to do something every single day and put so much effort and time into it and not love it? That just doesn't seem right. I do this because I love it. I don't make money with it. And in fact, since I've become a partner, I think I'm up to something like $10 or $11 in the past week. Woo! But that's $10 or $11 I didn't have. So it's all good. You know, it takes time to build things up, and nobody really is an overnight success. And those who are overnight successes, I think you're in for a rude awakening, because life doesn't usually work that way. I've worked very hard my entire life. I have crafted my writing. I've been going through, you know, what's this? Wait, Margaret says, been watching you since you went to Deb and Missy's house. Wanted you to stop in our restaurant when you were in South Carolina. Oh, you're the one with the restaurant in South Carolina. That's right, Margaret. I remember I was running super late when I was on my way back down, so I wasn't able to do that. But we have to make an actual plan, because I'm definitely going to be going up north to be promoting my book. Like, do you think about me on my birthday? Especially up north in Pittsburgh, where I grew up, but also all over Pennsylvania. I have family and friends, and also the Carolinas, actually the whole country. So I would like to go throughout the whole country and promote my book. So if there is anybody out there, you have a book club or speaking engagement for me, let me know. Darla did it. I actually went up and visited her and spoke at a library in her town. So I'm a real person and I do real things. Anyway, I will be going up north. So absolutely, Margaret, we'll have to make a plan. It's better if I kind of plan things. Sometimes it's hard with Muffin too. It's hard for me to stop places, but life is the way it is. Anyway, if it's meant to be, it will be. Actually, I also wanted to tell you, yesterday I met one of my followers, and her name is Carmela. She is on a cruise right now, but she contacted me and said, hey, I'm coming in from Pennsylvania for a cruise out of Fort Lauderdale. Do you think I could meet you and buy a copy of your book? So I said, absolutely. And I got to meet Carmela, and let me tell you what, she was so adorable. Oh my gosh. And she's been following me she's one of my long-term followers, almost 10 years. So I was super excited to meet her too. And it really meant a lot to both of us. So Carmela, if you're watching, love you, girl. Anyway, I love meeting people, and especially those of you who've been following me for so long. You know, you're the reason that I do this, and I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for you. So thank you. Thank you to all of you. All right, well, I gotta go to sleep. I am exhausted, and I feel like I am stumbling over my words at this point. So I'm going to say good night, ciao for now, and we will see you on tomorrow's beach report. Oh, by the way, tomorrow we're gonna have a lot of fun. There's a concert, and the music is all original, so nobody can get me for copyright. And that's like my new worry now. Is it gonna be copyright protected? But a lot of times it is. Anyway, yeah, it's you saw these guys on one of my shows a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, I don't know. They were amazing. So stay tuned for tomorrow night's show. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, you guys, ciao for now.